is Cozy Corner Crochet. My name's Rachel and welcome to my corner. I'm new to YouTube, but I wanted to share with you my love of crochet and all things yarn. So there are a few things I want to talk to you today about. First one is whips. For those of you that are new to crochet, you may not know that whips stands for work in progress. And I always have several of those going. Today I'm going to show you two of them, my newest ones. And secondly, I want to talk to you about some yarns and some differences that I've found in some of the regular yarns that I've used. And the third thing I want to do is, I'm very excited about this, I subscribed to Jimmy Bean's Crochet Club. And I just received my first shipment 2 days ago, so I've been anxiously waiting to open that package, but I wanted to wait and do it with you all. So let's get started. First of all, I want to show you my first whip. This is a cropped hooded cardigan. Now it's a whip, so the hood is not on yet. That's the one thing that I have to finish. So you can see it's a little cropped cardigan, opens in the front, and has long sleeves. It's taken me a while to do this. I've kind of hit a roadblock. The sizing is a little off, I think. So I'm going to work on that and see what I can come up with, and the next time I upload a video I'll share with you the finished project. That was made with Unforgettable yarn by Red Heart, and the colorway of this is Regatta. And I got this pattern from Anu Crochet. She's one of my favorite YouTubers that I watch. I really like the style that she has, and a lot of the patterns that she has are easy to follow and great for beginners, but as well as people that are more advanced. The next thing that I would like to share with you is my second whip, and I've just started this recently as well. And this came from the Fiber Flux YouTube channel. This was a temperature blanket. And I've had the idea to do one of these for a long time, but I never really found one that I liked. And she did one that was all granny squares, so I thought that would be really interesting to do and see how it turns out. So what I have for you is my temperature blanket thus far, which is from January 1st to January 25th, which was yesterday. I didn't do today's yet. And you can see each square has 3 colors. The joining color, which is white, and then this outside color, which represents the low of the day, and then this inside color, which represents the high of the day. And so you do one of these squares for every day of the year. So when you're done, you'll have 365 temperature squares. And you also have a square to start each month, which is just a white square, and then you have 1 square at the end for a total of, I believe, 378 squares. But again, she gives nice instructions, very easy to follow, so I'll link that in the description below. That's the Fiber Flux YouTube channel. And I made that using all Red Heart yarns. And I've never been the biggest fan of Red Heart yarns. They've always been, for me, they always felt kind of scratchy, a little hard. Whenever you work up a project, they seemed really stiff until you wash it, and then they soften up a bit. But I do want to say, and this is what leads me to my yarn review, that I've seen a difference in Red Heart recently. The yarns seem to be a lot softer, more pliable, easy to work with. Red Heart's always been easy to work with, but I enjoy working with them more so now than I have in the past. So I definitely have seen a change in Red Heart for the better. So in case you're wondering about Red Heart, if you've ever used it before and didn't like it, maybe it's time to give it a try. Another yarn that I've noticed some change in is Walmart's Mainstay yarn. This yarn is very inexpensive. I believe it was at my Walmart $1.94 for a skein of yarn. And they're a fairly large skein. And they're equivalent to Red Heart, but they have a new manufacturer now, from what I understand. They used to manufacture in China, and now they're manufacturing in Turkey. So the yarn has changed a little, and I think it's changed for the better. It's a lot softer, has a nice sheen to it. Some people have said that it's equivalent to Caron Simply Soft. I don't know about that, but I do enjoy working with it. There was one color for the temperature blanket that I couldn't find at my Walmart, so I decided to grab a skein of Mainstay because it's fairly comparable to Red Heart, and I found the color that I needed. So I used that instead, and I've enjoyed working with that. The other thing about the temperature blanket is you have to be extremely organized in order to finish a temperature blanket and keep up with it. So what I've done, and these were all suggestions from the ladies at Fiberflux, I've made this nice little card that shows you each color of yarn, and it tells you what the colorway is associated with as far as the temperature goes. So this is how you determine what colors your granny squares are for the day. It's based on the temperature. I'm doing the highs and lows. She also said you could do the average temperature, which would be nice, and you just do a solid square in the average temperature. And then I printed out this grid, and she gave a website where you can make your own grid. So I printed out the grid just like she did, and for every square, when I make the square, I write on the grid the number of the day, and then whenever I actually join the square to the blanket, that's why I highlight. So that way I can tell how many squares I've made and how many squares I've joined. I had a few weeks to catch up because I started late, so I just caught up last night, and I'm hoping to stay on top of it and do a square each day, because it only takes about 5 minutes to make a square. It takes another 2 or 3 minutes to join it to the blanket. So it's very simple and easy to keep up with if I do it daily. So I'm going to try to do that. The other thing I need in order to keep track of things is a calendar. And I found this little crochet planner at Walmart a while back. It was in the clearance section, and I think I paid like $2 for it, which was a really good deal. So inside, there are lots of things in this little planner. It gives you places to keep track of your tools and what kinds of yarns you already own in your stash. When we go to the yarn store, we all need to know that, right? Because I know I forget what I have in my stash and end up buying things that I already have. But this is where I've kept track every day of the high and low temperature, so I know what colors to make my squares for my temperature blanket. So it does take a lot of organization, but I find that satisfying and I really like it. So I've been working on that. And then lastly, the most exciting part of my video, I'm so excited for this, is my Jimmy Bean subscription. Now, I expected it to come in a cardboard box, so I'm not sure why they shipped it in this kind of packaging. I mean, it's okay, it's fine, but all of the ones I've seen online and seen people open have been in the nice little Jimmy Bean's wool box. But I'm thinking maybe the first shipment was a little bigger, and so they couldn't fit it in the box or something. It feels like there are full skeins of yarn in here, so I'm really excited to see what's in here. So I'm going to take my scissors and open my bag. I have to be careful not to snip the yarn. And let's just see what we have inside. Ooh. So inside is this nice little mesh bag, and they say that you get a little project bag with each project. So this one's a nice little mesh bag. I really like it. It would be nice for crochet hooks and notions, and it looks like it snaps, which is interesting. And inside here is all of these tiny little skeins of Sheepy's, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sheepy's river washed wool. And all of these different colorways. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, looks like 18 little skeins of this yarn. And here is the pattern. I'll show you that in a moment. And also in here, let's see what this is. It says, "Be here, knit now. Welcome to Knitting Nirvana. Take this time to focus on each breath you take, each stitch you make. This is where knitting and mindfulness meet. Namaste." Oh, it's a little booklet here. I'm assuming it's got little dots in there, so I'm assuming that you could write your own patterns with this little booklet. And again, this is the pattern. I'm going to cover up the instructions here to show you the little picture that's there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. It looks like it is a, well, they're calling it a monster poof. And it's like a little ottoman. It looks like the size that a child could use as a seat. So it'll be interesting to see how that works up. I'm excited to do that. So that's my Jimmy Beans Crochet Club subscription box. So now I have another thing that's going to be another whip for me. So I will give you some updates on that as I go through. And well, friends, I think that's all I have for you today. So I just want to say, keep stitching and stay cozy.